Welcome back to Boruto Anime Review, episode number 192. This one reviewing the 192nd episode of the anime Past. This one adapts from a little bit from chapter 24 of the manga, and it goes through, from what I can tell, pages 3 through 9. Yeah, like a little bit. Mostly this is just basically an expansion on what we saw a couple episodes back when exploring Kawaki's backstory. Thing starts out with Kwanki, low-kid Kwanki, chopping wood. Taking the wood to town on his little backpack thing. Now, I have seen this once before in another anime carrying a backpack like this with wood on it. The only other series I've seen this in is Demon Slayer. Yes, Demon Slayer. I don't know if Demon Slayer actually ripped this off from... if Bard ripped off of Demon Slayer, or just simply something that people in the early 20th century probably still did. I don't know. So, goes to town, sells the logs to a guy who runs a furnace, who apparently says the town is in recession. Okay. And he goes to a liquor store. Now, why would little kid buy a liquor? For his dad. Yep, his dad. And the bottle is like little less than halfway full. And on his way back, he runs into a goldfish salesman. You're probably thinking, a goldfish salesman? How the heck is that possible, a goldfish? Well, they don't have cars, so basically they have a cart. And he says to him, like, oh, maybe you can buy a fish? Like, I don't have any money. And, well, he basically rushing on home, though he's able to get back. Before he left, he gave him a flyer for a goldfish show. Yes, a goldfish show. Yep. Then pretty much like right after that, then of course like he gets home, and apparently he gets mad. Not at Kwanaki for taking long. He gets mad at him for taking too long. He's also mad at the store owner for not giving a full bottle. And he sees the flyer in his pants. I'm like, Kwanaki, why don't you just put that in your pocket? Why the heck did you stuff it back in your pants? That makes no frickin' sense at all. What is your shorts that have frickin' pants pockets? I don't know. Or you could, I don't know, tuck it underneath your shirt instead of basically exposing like what you did. As far as sees it, doesn't like the fact that, well, he apparently was hiding some despite the fact he had just gotten that day. So he tears up and says, because you listen to me, you get no dinner. So he basically just goes straight to bed. Wow. Oh yeah, he later became he's his hero, despite the fact he's a terrible father. He beats him, and the fact he's a drunk. He also said he used to be a shinobi. I'm like, I don't know who the guy is. Like, aside from this episode and the very flashback, I don't know who the heck this guy is. Kwanki's like biological father. And then he goes, does this thing in there the next day, and then he gets back to the town like after he sells the wood off and gets the alcohol this time with a full bottle. And then he sees a medical tent in town, like, what the heck? Even I'm thinking, like, what the heck is going on here? And we see a medical doctor, and he says, oh yeah, there's a plague in the village. Like, when the heck did this spring up? And he's like, can I draw you some blood? And then he just runs into a couple bullies who cause him to bleed, like, at the side of his head. And, of course, the guy who sold goldfish, basically, defended him. And then he's going to run, despite the fact the ball is cracked, he's going to run back home, but he breaks. And before we get to that point, we see something quite interesting. We see Delta in the episode. Yes, she doesn't say anything. She just picks up the piece of, like, cloth that was left on the ground with Kwanaki's blood on it. She just looks at it, and then later on we see something interesting happen. Kwanaki gets home, and he brings home the broken bottle. He says, oh yeah, because you buy it properly, so he gets thrown in sort of looks like a shed. Yeah. And he's like crying like crazy. He's like, let me out. I mean, technically it was an accident. The guy basically is taking it personally. He thinks it's a terrible thing about this accident. And then, like, not long after he locks up Kwanaki, Joggin shows up. Yes, Joggin shows up. And he says, I have a proposition for you. Would you like to listen to it? And he's like, okay. And apparently he sat down with him. He was like, he'll basically buy quantity off of him, and he'll basically get out of the debt and get whatever he's basically in. And he's like, take him. I don't freaking care. Yeah, he thinks his son is useless. Of course, he doesn't want to go because it's home. And then, of course, he also gets smashed. Like, he gets his head smashed as well. Well, it does explain why he was lying on the floor. Yeah, they explain. He got smashed with a red liquor bottle. And then Jogging basically, we see something from the flashback where he says to take him. And he leaves his home and he just walks out of town like apparently no one notices this. He goes to a tunnel with Jogging, and he's like halfway through it, and then the goldfish salesman comes up, and apparently the guy wanted to sell Quanky into human trafficking. So Jogging tells Quanky, go outside the outside tunnel. And the goldfish salesman, apparently him and Jogging have a fight off screen. Unknown what happened to him. He says, oh yeah, I glide over to you. What the heck happened? They don't say. And then we basically go straight to the car headquarters. We go to this big circle floor. This actually comes from, the last little bit here comes from the start of chapter 26, where he meets Armando for the first time. Though we cut the little bit on top, we see what's inside those little tubes. I kind of get the reason why they did that, because we kind of did already see this already in, I think it was like one flashback I think we did. Don't need to see it again. So, he says take care of him, he's a precious child. And then Quanky wakes up, of course, you see him in the hospital. And he wakes up to see Konohamaru, Naruto, and Shikamaru. And Naruto says, oh, you'll be safe here. Same thing that Jogging said. And that's the episode ends. This is a quite interesting episode. I kind of felt as though that this episode that explained Kawaki's backstory prior to become part of Kara was nothing special. I've seen stuff like this before for other stuff. Like, wow, it's like, you don't feel any real emotion. Like, when I was watching this, I didn't feel much of anything when it comes to this. Like, because, well, it's like, oh, Kawaki's got a terrible father who beats him basically as an alcoholic, and he used to be a shinobi. He said he lost his mind after the war. It's like a lot of stuff here is like left very vague. The episode's not terrible per se. I mean, the best thing I thought about the episode was the ending. It's an okay episode per se. I like the stuff with the car facility, but the stuff before that, it's like, didn't really need it at all. Yep. Surprisingly, those two bullies who basically beat him up before, yeah, they're never seen again. It's presumed possibly the goldfish salesman may have killed him off screen, but they didn't really say what happened to him. The goldfish salesman, it's completely unknown what happened to him. Hey, his appearance did look kind of familiar. Like, he kind of reminded me of that one-shot character from Naruto, the one who was the artisan. Yeah, appearance-wise, he looked almost exactly like him. I don't know, maybe just some generic design that Studio Parrot just happened just like, oh, we have this character here. Can we kind of use him for this? But this is set years after the guy much older. Like, okay, why don't we change it where we use the same character design but change the character? And I guess that was okay. So they just redesigned for this one character. Yep. The artist I'm talking about, he appeared in a one-shot episode for Naruto Shippuden. Not Shippuden. It was for the original Naruto series. Excuse me. It was him protecting a bowl that he made. But actually, he was the actual one that had to protect, not the actual bowl itself. It was basically Naruto working with Kiba on a mission. Yeah, a guy he did not like working with on missions. Hinata, from what I can tell, he never had a problem working with her on missions. Like, everybody else, he had no real problem with it at all. Like, during that period of time, the only person he had a problem with was Kiba. And Shino, he never really teamed with him that much. Not really, no. The episode itself is just okay, at best. The next week's episode looks a lot more interesting. Especially since we're going to finally get a chance to see Hinata show up next week. I'm probably going to finish up in short chapter 26, but the thing is, how far is the anime going to go with adapting this particular arc? Because the arc itself just did kind of, in a way, wrap up with chapter 55. Yeah, I mean, there's like roughly 30 chapters here, and overall release of the manga, they're up to 26 right now. They're basically like 29 chapters left to be adapted, but it just all depends upon the anime, what they want to do with it, okay? So yeah, that's it for Cycle Review. Next one is going to be Comic Book History, where I'll talk about Avengers Volume 3. Okay, see the video. Bye.